Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Um, I did go and find something yesterday. Um, I've got a couple of pieces of art to show you. What I found yesterday is hanging up right up here, and last week that piece. But I have a piece I'd like to show you first because I honestly didn't know if I was going to sell it or not. So I found this the day after Milo's sister, Maple, died. Tragically, in a drawer. I had shut the drawer and forgotten she was in there. So that was kind of a shock. So the next day, forgive me, the dishwasher's going. I went to a couple of thrift stores, and in each one I found something that was fish oriented. And a fish statue, a fish piece of cool artwork here, and something else. I can't remember what it is or was. But I was like, wow, okay, Maple's going shopping with me. So this is the first piece, which I don't know if I'm gonna give it up or not. It is crewel on linen. It is monogrammed H here, and give you a better idea. Now it's on linen, which is tacked to wood, and I think, if possible, it would be good to unstaple this and have it dry cleaned. There are some, well, is that dirt or? It looks like there might be a couple of tiny holes. I'm not sure if you can see it or if it's dirt. I'm not really sure. But I think it's a great piece. Not quite sure if I'm gonna give it up or not. I think these are too coy, and coy I think is a sign of good luck. And so, not sure yet. Last week, I picked this up. It's from a store around the corner, and I've been looking at it for a couple of weeks. I didn't know who the artist was, but I love it. It's on a separate piece of paper, watercolor. She is a very well known, apparently, in the New York region, or was, very well known watercolorist. Her name is Jacqueline Weyn, W-E-Y-N, and I'm intrigued by it because in the 60s you see the boats. There were several kinds of paintings done where the ships are sort of, floating in the sky, but they're actually on water. So it's an abstract, and the scale I think is purposely off. The fish shack here, or whatever you might want to call it. It's a great looking piece. She lived on Long Island, and I'm expecting, this could be one of many Long Island beaches. There is something on the back of it. I guess the person who framed this in 1986 from East Meadow, Long Island. And the last name I won't share online. Gives their address. Cost $80. I must have had a discount here. I guess the total is $76.40 in July of 1986. There is something here I want to show you. The corner here of this paper is just slightly turned over, like an earmark for some reason. I don't know how that would have happened. I think it's a framer's mistake, actually. But either way, it is a, God, you can't see it very well because of all the reflections. So if you're interested in this piece, this will be listed today. Now, what I found yesterday, are any of you familiar with mid-century art? If you are, I'm sure you've heard of Morris Katz. This is indeed a Morris Katz painting of the sea. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest painter, or doing the most number of paintings in the shortest time. But he was a very good artist. Some of his stuff is kitschy, and this is kind of kitschy. The colors are fabulous. They go really well with everything else on the wall behind me. I kind of have a blue theme going on there, but you know, he uses black and turquoise, and it's signed here, Morris Katz. I think it says 89. He died in 2010. And I'll tell you a story. I found 2 of his paintings before I knew who he was, back in the 2006 or so, at a tag sale. And one, to this day, I regret selling. I even though my son was young, what was he, 8 or something? No, he was like 6 or 7. He really was not happy that I sold that painting, and it was an abstract view of lower Manhattan from across the water in Brooklyn. And it was very abstract, it was great, the framing was great, but that's how I got into this. It was out of absolute necessity that I was selling stuff. I had to sell stuff to make up the difference in money. So that's actually how I got into this, was out of absolute necessity. So to this day, I have the other one. It's a black and white night winter scene, which is everyone loves. And a lot of Morris Katz's stuff is kind of tacky. But there's some beautiful stuff. He was a very good artist. But and this is one that I think will go rather quickly. Now, it does have a problem with the frame, and that is, if I can show you, I don't know how this would have happened, but the frame edge has separated from the bottom rail has separated from the side rail, and there's these metal things sticking out. And if you can repair it, you got it, and there's a little chip here. So I don't know, it clearly seems to have fallen on its on the corner here. I'm not showing you anything, am I? So even if you left it as is, I don't think anybody would really notice. But I can't seem to get these to go back in. And I don't want to try very hard either. I would rather leave that up to the buyer to do. It needs something there that I don't want to get on the painting. I don't have any graphite. If you are all familiar with graphite, it's possible that graphite might help get these back into the original framing, or just take it to a frame store and have them repair it. But it's a great piece. I love the colors, I love the activeness of it, and the birds are, the birds are the seagulls that are very easily done. But it's very heavy palette on the seashore, on the sea water. And I think this is a fantastic piece. So that's all I have for today regarding what I'm going to list today for you all. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. I might actually list the koi piece. I just don't know what I want to do with that. But either way, these 2 pieces of artwork will be up for sale today. And you all have a great Sunday. Relax. I'm cooking all day. I got up early. I made some. Oh, you know what? if anybody out there is a vegetarian, or even if you're not a vegetarian, this book, what's it called? From the Earth, Chinese Vegetarian Cooking. I'm not a sponsor, I don't know this woman, but Eileen Vin Fei Lo. If you ever have a recipe that calls for vegetable broth, and you make the vegetable broth here, there's two versions of it, and you simmer for 5 hours. I just finished making it, which is why the dishwasher is running. You will never buy vegetable broth ever again. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a little sweet, it's unusual, and it can be at first a little intimidating. So what you do, thank you for stopping. What you do first is you use scallion oil. She uses scallion oil in here all the time. So you 8 to 10 scallions, put them in peanut oil, fry them until they're brown, and there's your scallion oil. But in addition, you use those scallions that are browned in the stock, along with mushrooms, ginger, dates, carrots, mushrooms. What else was in there? Well, I have the book right here. Why don't I just look at it? You will never use it's such a waste of money to buy vegetable broth. It just looks like, it tastes like colored water. Celery stalks. Oh, that's vegetable stock 2. I'm using 1. Cilantro, celery, mushrooms, scallions, 3.5 pounds of onions, 1.5 pounds of carrots, quarter cup Chinese preserved dates. I just bought dates, whatever. Buckthorn seeds, which I have never attempted to even look up to see what they are, because I know I wouldn't find them, and I don't know what they are, so they're not in there. A quarter pound of fresh ginger, 3 tablespoons of the scallion oil, and the fried scallions, and 2 tablespoons of salt. Store in a cool place. Oh, that's reserving the dates. But anyway, it's a great, great, great recipe, and you will, I mean, it's good enough to just drink hot out of a cup. That's good. It's a little sweet, so it's not your typical vegetable broth, but it's worth it, and you'll never waste money on the canned or boxed vegetable broth. So happy Sunday, happy cooking, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.